You were currently in a dark closet waiting for... well, you had no idea. Sarah shoved you in here and you never found out why. You wanted to trust your friend, but... well, he had been gone for a good 5 minutes and the door was locked. You were about to start banging on the door for someone to let you out, but the door opened and a familiar blonde walked in. You raised an eyebrow when you heard the door shut and lock behind him. He stared at you with a grin, which only made you more curious as to what exactly he had planned. "Kaminari? What's happening?" you asked slowly as your suspicion levels went up.
7 minutes in heaven, duh.
"Oh, hell no," you replied without missing a beat. "You weren't playing this dumb game. You had to study. You had homework due for tomorrow. As much as you loved goofing around with your friends, you couldn't today. Despite telling them you were busy, they apparently didn't get the message and decided to drag you into this game anyway."
Aw, come on, you don't want to play with me?
Kaminari whined at your denial to play the game, though you didn't really have a choice now anyway. You were locked in here after all. Even if you wanted to leave, you couldn't until the time was up and they let you out. "It's not that I don't want to. It's just I have homework to do," you argued, but you could see your answer made him smirk.
"So you'd like to play this with me any other day?"
he teased. You sighed and let your head fall into the palm of your hand, letting a loud smack echo throughout the closet. "I don't have time for this," you grumbled, and tried to push Kaminari away from the door to see if you could somehow get it open.
"Don't be like that. It's only 7 minutes, and I have a way to make it go by really fast."
He leaned over, his face inches away from your own. You knew he was flirting, but you were used to it by now. You simply used your hand to push his face away from yours. Sure, it would be nice for anyone to have their crush flirt with them, but it becomes a lot less special when your crush does it to almost everyone else too. You don't think any of his flirting was serious. He probably wasn't all that interested in you. He just wanted to have some fun. You had been too busy with trying to open the door that the next time you glanced down to your watch, it had been a whole 10 minutes. You gasped and turned around. "Hey, it's been more than 7 minutes. What the hell is going on?" You glared at him. You knew he wasn't telling you something. He was leaning against the wall with a cocky smirk on his face, as if he didn't have a care in the world.
"What? Don't look at me. They must have forgotten about us."
He held up his hands innocently, which caused you to sigh again. You figured he probably didn't have anything to do with this. After all, why the hell would he go out of his way to lock himself in a closet overnight with you? That's just stupid. You were about to give in and apologize for accusing him of purposely locking you in here, but he spoke up before you.
"Well, whilst we're here, we might as well make out a little bit."
You clenched your teeth together and sent a swift punch to his upper arm.
"Ow! Hey!"
he pouted as he rubbed his now sore arm. "Don't even start. You're lucky that wasn't your face." You weren't usually so aggressive. It took a lot to piss you off, but right now was an exception. You were tired, you had a lot of work to finish, and most of all, his meaningless flirting was starting to get to you. "I wish you'd stop doing that all the time," you growled before turning away from him.
"Doing what?"
"Flirting with me. It messes with my head and I hate it." You felt your emotions going over the edge. For so long now you had been keeping it all inside, never telling him how his flirting really affected you. If you did, he would surely figure out you had a crush on him.
"You do? I didn't know that,"
he replied, his voice surprisingly soft. It almost sounded like defeat, his mood completely changing around. You suddenly felt bad for practically yelling at him. The last thing you ever wanted to do was to hurt his feelings. You bit your lip as a way to try and control yourself. The reason I hate it, it's because I know you don't mean it. Okay?" He let out a noise of confusion at your confession. You thought he didn't mean it? If he wasn't attracted to you, he wouldn't flirt with you.
"But I do mean it?"
You turned to him and crossed your arms over your chest. You wanted to believe him, but you felt yourself struggling to. You flirt with everyone. All the time. How do you expect me to take you seriously? You questioned.
Why does it bother you so much?
He didn't answer your question. He just backfired with one of his own, but he had a feeling that maybe... You turned red from the question, figuring it was now or never. Because I like you. I can never tell if you like me back or if you're just joking around. You refused to meet his eyes. In your mind, there was a good chance that he didn't return your feelings. It was sort of hard to tell if he really liked anyone at all or not. He was always laughing and flirting, so everyone just assumed he wasn't being serious, including you.
Come on, I'm not that mean. I know it's probably hard to take me seriously and all, but I do like you. You really think I'd ever turn a person as great as you down?
He smirked when you finally looked up at him. You had to let it sink in. He liked you back? He wasn't just joking around with you? You finally smiled, your heart soaring in your chest.
So want to make out now?
Are you serious? You stopped yourself and narrowed your eyes at the wall to the side of you.
Why did you stop yourself?
He asked you, and you took a big step forward. You placed yourself right in front of him, trapping him in between the wall and yourself. You actually managed to make him blush from your bold action, which you felt quite proud of. Sure, let's do it.
What? Wait, I was just kidding.
He noticed you slowly getting closer to his lips, and his words trailed off. He really didn't expect you to agree. He was just joking around that time, though that doesn't mean he didn't want to. He just figured it would lighten the serious mood that was going on between the two of you. You, on the other hand, was secretly reveling in the fact you had him so flustered. You had actually gotten this goofball to shut up. You must be the only person that's ever done that before. Your lips met his finally, and it started off really slow and unsure at first. You both tried to be natural, but it was all so new. Luckily, you had plenty of time to practice. You were stuck in here for the rest of the night now, and it was a good time passer. It went from slow and careful to heated and sloppy within around 5 minutes of intense practice, your hands roaming each other as your heads tilted and turned from side to side. You felt like you were dreaming the whole time. Nothing else happened after that, though. You both felt out of breath, your lips tingling and swollen from the kisses, your eyes lidded as you caught your breath. We should probably get some sleep. Which corner do you want? You asked him. He grabbed your hand and pulled you back to his chest.
Any corner you're going to be in?
You let out a small laugh at the response. You're such a dork. You two eventually got comfortable in each other's arms on the floor as you continued to give soft kisses every now and then. You began telling jokes and teasing each other, talking about what kind of date you two could go on the weekend, until you finally fell asleep, leaning on his chest. You woke up to the sound of a click, followed by a flash, and when you opened your eyes, you thought your friends would be gathered by the door taking pictures of you two asleep. But you were wrong. It was Kaminari who was taking pictures of you on his phone. You sat up and gave him a deadly glare, your eye twitching at the sight of him on his phone. You had your phone this whole time? You could have called Midoriya or someone to let us out. Kaminari shrunk against your glare. You were really scary when you wanted to be, and he had watched you in training. The last thing he wanted was to be on the receiving end of your wrath.
I forgot?
He answered shyly, hoping you would have mercy on him, but you didn't buy it. Your eyes grew sharper, which caused the truth to spill.
Fine. I planned this all. I got Sarah and Mina to lock us in here so I could have some alone time with you. I just wanted to confess to you.
Okay, so you take back what you said last night. He really was that stupid that he would lock you in here just to be alone with you. You groaned and threw your head back. You had a sore back and a dead leg because he wanted alone time with you? Couldn't they have locked you in a room with comfy furniture or something? You were about to reply when the door to the closet opened and Todoroki stood there, his eyes widening at the sight of you two on the floor.
What are you two doing in here?
He asked. You jumped up and grabbed onto his hand, thanking him over and over again. You saved me! Kaminari locked me in here all night! You cried, and the blonde behind you shot up from his seat on the ground.
What? I did not. Well, I mean I did, but I was locked in here too.
You shot him another glare. You still hadn't done your homework and class was in a few hours. If you got into trouble for not doing your homework, you were definitely going to tattle on your friends for keeping you prisoner. You refused to get on Aizawa's bad side. You began stalking off to your room to see if you could at least complete some of your homework before class started. Kaminari followed behind you the whole time, whining for you not to be mad at him. He even threw in a few sweet words like, "Babe," and "Baby," at you to butter you up. You tried your best to ignore it, but it was slightly working on you.
We're still going on that date, right?
He asked you. You sighed and turned around when you reached your dorm room. Of course. Kaminari fist pumped, cheering happily as you agreed to a date with him. Just don't lock me in a closet this time.